The trade station drifted in slow silence near the edge of mapped space. Its metal skin was old and patched, built layer over layer by different species across many years. Lights flickered in long halls. Air vents hummed like tired lungs. For most beings, this place was a stop to refuel, trade, and leave. For humans, it was a cage with invisible bars. Humans were allowed here, but only as workers. They carried crates, cleaned floors, fixed wires, and stayed out of the way. Signs written in many languages reminded them of rules. Do not touch officers. Do not speak unless spoken to. Do not look directly at enforcers. Humans followed these rules because breaking them often meant pain or death. Eli moved through the main corridor with a small case locked to his wrist. He walked at a steady pace, eyes forward, shoulders low. He was not tall, not strong by alien standards. His jacket was worn, his boots patched. To most beings on the station, he looked like any other human courier. That was the point. The case was smooth and dark with no marks. It felt warm against his skin, as if it were alive. Eli had asked no questions when he took the job. Asking questions was dangerous. He had been told only one thing. Deliver the case to the enforcer named Ryan. Do not delay. Do not open it. Do not touch her. Ryan was known across the station. She was tall, wrapped in heavy armor that moved like part of her body. Her helmet hid her face, but everyone knew the stories. She had killed smugglers, rebels, even her own kind when ordered. No one touched her and lived. Humans feared her more than airlock failures. Eli reached the security ring near the central hub. Armed guards stood at each gate, their weapons resting but ready. One guard scanned the case and nodded. Another scanned Eli and frowned. Human courier, the guard said. Destination? Ah, Eli spoke softly. Enforcer Ryan, direct delivery. The guards exchanged looks. One stepped aside. Go. Do not slow. The hub was wide and open, filled with layered walkways and hanging lights. At the center stood Ryan. She was alone, which was rare. Her armor reflected the lights in dull red lines. She was reading data in the air, her hands moving with calm control. Eli approached, heart beating hard. Each step felt louder than the last. He stopped at the marked line on the floor, 3 steps away from her. Enforcer Ryan, he said. Delivery. She did not look at him at first. Place it on the floor? Eli hesitated. The case was locked to him. I was told direct transfer. Her head turned slowly. Even behind the helmet, Eli felt her gaze press into him. You were told wrong. Eli swallowed. He raised his arm to unlock the case from his wrist. His hand shook. The lock stuck for a second, then released suddenly. The case slipped. Eli reacted without thinking. He stepped forward and reached out. His fingers brushed the back of Ryan's armored hand. The air changed. In a blur of motion, Ryan grabbed Eli by the throat and lifted him off the floor. Her grip was iron. Eli's feet kicked uselessly. The guards around the hub raised their weapons, alarms starting to chirp. Do not touch me, Ryan said. Her voice was flat and cold. Touch me once more, and you are dead. She dropped him. Eli hit the floor, hard, gasping for air. His vision blurred, but he forced himself to breathe. The case lay between them, unharmed. Ryan stepped back. Pick it up, with your eyes. Eli pushed himself up on shaking arms. His throat burned. He knew what he should do. He should crawl away. He should beg. He should run. Instead, he stood. I slipped, he said. Simple words. No excuse. Ryan watched him. The guards waited for the order to fire. Eli bent and picked up the case carefully. His hand trembled, but his mind felt strangely clear. He took 1 step forward and held the case out. Do not come closer, Ryan said. Eli's knee buckled. He stumbled. This time he did not think. He reached out and placed his free hand against Ryan's forearm to steady himself. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then Ryan froze. Lights on her armor flickered. Data screens around her glitched and vanished. A low hum filled the hub, deep and vibrating, like a distant engine waking up. Rin released a sharp breath. Her grip on her weapon tightened, but she did not raise it. Remove your hand, she said. Eli did not. Not right away. He felt warmth through the armor, the same warmth as the case. It pulsed, slow and steady. I am sorry, he said, but I will fall if I do. The hum grew louder. The floor beneath them thrummed. Guards shouted into their comms. Red warning lights flashed along the walls. Ryan looked down at Eli's hand on her arm. Slowly she reached up and pulled it away herself. The hum stopped. Systems began to reboot. Lights steadied. The alarms cut off. Silence returned, thick and heavy. Ryan stared at her arm as if it no longer belonged to her. Then she looked at Eli. "What did you do, human?" Eli shook his head. "I do not know." The case in his other hand pulsed once, brighter this time. Ryan's helmet display lit up without her command. Symbols she did not recognize flowed across it. "Guards," Ryan said. "Stand down." They hesitated. "That is an order." Weapons lowered. Ryan stepped closer to Eli, slow and careful. She took the case from him without touching his skin. The moment it left his hand, the symbols faded. "You will come with me," she said. Eli nodded. He expected cuffs, pain, maybe death. Instead, she turned and walked, signaling for him to follow. They moved through restricted corridors, away from public eyes. The walls here were older, darker. Few cameras watched. Ryan stopped at a sealed door and paused. She looked at Eli again. "Do not touch me again." Simple and steady. "I will try." The door opened. Inside was a small control room, quiet and dim. Rin placed the case on a central table. The moment it touched the surface, power surged through the room. Old screens lit up, showing star maps Eli had never seen. Ryan stiffened. "This technology is not from my people." Eli swallowed. "It feels familiar." She turned slowly. "Explain." Eli searched for words. "I cannot. I just know it listens. To us." Ryan was silent for a long time. Finally she spoke, softer now. "Humans are not listed as compatible with relic systems." Eli gave a weak smile. "We are not listed for many things." Before she could answer, the station shook. A deep tremor ran through the walls. Warning lights flared again, stronger this time. "Incoming signal," the room announced. Unknown source. A star map expanded. Multiple points blinked into view, far beyond the station. Ryan stared at them. "Those regions are dead." One of the points pulsed. The case responded, glowing bright. Eli felt it even without touching it. A pull. A call. Rin looked at him. Something new in her posture. Not anger. Not threat. Fear. "What have you brought here, human?" Eli looked at the stars on the screen and answered honestly. "I think something just noticed us." The control room remained quiet except for the soft hum of power returning. The blinking points on the star map made the walls glow faintly. Eli stood near the case, feeling its warmth pulsing like a heartbeat. Ryan watched him with caution, her armor reflecting the shifting light. "We have a problem," she said finally. "The unknown ships are responding to that case." Eli nodded slowly. "I think they always knew humans could touch it." Ryan turned sharply. "What do you mean?" "No human has ever activated relics before. Many have tried. Many have died." "I do not know why," Eli said honestly. "Something in our biology makes it react. It listens to us. Maybe it trusts us." Ryan did not answer. Instead, she accessed a terminal in the corner. The screen showed security reports, energy readings, and station systems. She moved her fingers across symbols and numbers she had never seen before. The more she tried to control, the more the system responded only to Eli's presence. The station shakes again. Warning lights flash red. Incoming ships detected on sensors. Not one, but a fleet, and they are closing fast." Ryan took a deep breath. "I cannot allow humans to be killed here," she said. "The council will not approve, but I cannot let them die." Eli raised an eyebrow. "Then what?" "They will find us anyway." She stood tall. "Then we fight. Or we run. We need allies." The question was who. Eli remembered a faint memory of the station's hidden passages. Old maintenance routes humans had used for years. If he could reach one, he could contact someone who might help. "I need to leave the room for a moment," he said. "There is someone who can help us." Ryan's helmet tilted. "You will not survive outside." "Not alone." Eli shrugged. "I am not alone. Humans never are, if we choose." She did not argue. Something in his voice made her pause. For the first time, she wondered if humans were underestimated, not because they were weak, but because no one expected courage. He moved toward the maintenance hatch. It was a small, square door, easily overlooked. Eli opened it quietly, signaling Rin to wait. Inside, the narrow tunnel smelled of oil and dust. Pipes ran along the walls, carrying coolant that hissed with pressure. Eli crawled through, careful to make no sound. Each movement made his muscles ache. His lungs burned, but he did not stop. He knew that if he failed, the station would be lost. At the end of the tunnel, he found a small room with a dim light. Inside, a man in a patched uniform, worked over a machine, adjusting wires with precision. Eli recognized him from stories. Marek, an engineer who helped humans hide from alien patrols. Marek looked up. "Eli, you made it? The patrols will catch you." "Not if we move fast," Eli said. "We need a resistance. Humans who can fight, who can hide, who can help us survive." Marek nodded slowly. "I have a network. A few dozen humans are waiting for instructions, but the council controls the station. Any misstep and they die." "Then we move tonight," Eli said. "They will not survive without help." Marek smiled faintly. "You always know what to do, huh?" "Fine. We prepare. But we will need someone on the inside, too. Someone with access to Ryan's control room." Eli thought for a moment. "Ryan is already inside, and she is our ally now, in a way. We just need her to trust us. And I think she is starting to." Back in the control room, Ryan studied the blinking points on the map. Her fingers hovered over buttons she did not understand. The case glowed faintly on the table. Her mind raced. If humans could operate this relic, then what did that mean for her species? For the council that ruled with fear? She looked at the doorway. Eli had been gone for a few minutes. She felt unsettled. That human had no right to make her feel this way. But she could not deny the effect he had on the system. Ryan returned her gaze to the map. Focus, she told herself. Focus on survival. Focus on defense. Focus on the human at the center of it all. Meanwhile, Eli and Marek worked quietly in the hidden room. Marek brought out devices and communication tools. Small, portable, capable of sending signals to other humans across the station without detection. "We have only a few hours before the patrols notice the power fluctuations," Marek said. "We must move fast." Eli nodded. "Gather everyone you can. I will contact Ren. She will need to help guide them through the restricted areas." Marek hesitated. "That enforcer is not easy to convince. Her loyalty is rigid." Eli shrugged. "She is learning, slowly. She knows we are not just pawns. We are not weak. That is enough to start." Back in the control room, Ryan sensed the movement. Sensors were limited, but she felt the energy of the human network growing in response to Eli. The relic pulsed, almost like a heartbeat. She placed her hand near the case, careful not to touch, and felt its warmth. "This is new," she whispered. "Humans, they are dangerous in ways I never expected." Eli returned to the control room through a maintenance route Rin had not used. He appeared quietly, Marek and a few others behind him. Ryan's helmet tilted. "You brought others?" Eli nodded. "And they are ready. But we must move carefully. The council will not wait." Ryan studied the humans, noting their courage, their fear, and their resolve. She said nothing, but her mind worked quickly. If these humans could activate relics, then maybe they could survive the council's wrath. Maybe they could fight back. The alarm started again. Patrols were approaching. Ryan stood, her weapon ready, but her armor flickered slightly. She looked at Eli. "One wrong move, and we all die." "Do you understand?" "I understand," Eli said, "and I am not afraid." She blinked behind the visor. "Not afraid? For a human?" Then she remembered the first touch, the warmth, the pulse. The relic responded to that courage. Maybe this was why humans had always been underestimated. The patrols arrived outside the door, weapons raised. Ryan moved first, stepping in front of the humans. Eli followed. Marek gave a small signal, and the hidden doors opened. Humans slipped through, one by one, into the maintenance tunnels, guided by Ryan's presence and Eli's instructions. Shots were fired in the distance. Guards shouted into comms. Red lights flashed. The humans moved quickly, silently, like shadows in a dark maze. Eli glanced at Ryan. "We are not done yet. This is only the beginning." Ryan did not answer. She only watched, learning that humans were unpredictable. They could not be controlled, only challenged. And in that challenge there was strength. The case pulsed faintly in the center of the room, calling to the fleet. Eli knew it. Whatever was coming had noticed the human touch, and now it was awake. Ryan understood the unspoken truth. Humans had never been weak. They had only been underestimated. And now she would see why. As the patrols advanced through the corridors, the small group of humans disappeared into the hidden paths of the station, led by Eli, guided by courage, and watched over by an enforcer who was learning to respect a species she had always considered inferior. Outside the station, sensors picked up the fleet moving closer. Something ancient, something powerful had been stirred by a simple human touch, and it was coming for the station. Inside, Eli paused, listening to the soft hum of the case. "We are not alone. Whatever is coming, we will face it. together. Ryan finally spoke, quiet but certain. "Do not touch me again." Eli smiled faintly. "I will try." The station trembled as alarms continued to flare. Outside, unknown ships closed in, their engines glowing. Inside, humans prepared to fight, hidden and ready. The war for the station had only begun. The hidden tunnels beneath the trade station were dark and narrow. Pipes ran along the walls, hissing with pressure. Shadows flickered across the floors as the small group of humans moved swiftly. Eli led them, his eyes alert to every sound. Marek and a few others followed, carrying portable devices and tools that could hide them from patrol scanners. Ryan walked at the rear, her armor quieter than usual. Evely, she had been observing humans closely, their movements, their focus, the way they communicated without words. She could not deny it. Humans were different, unpredictable, dangerous in ways she had never imagined. Eli stopped suddenly at a junction. He put a finger to his lips. Ahead, 2 guards were passing slowly, talking in low voices. He signaled for everyone to flatten against the wall. Ryan's hand hovered near the hilt of her weapon but did not touch it. The guards passed. No one breathed. Eli counted silently, then motioned them forward. They continued through the maze of maintenance corridors, emerging near an old lift shaft. Marek tapped a device against the wall. A hidden door slid open. The lift was old and rusty but functional. Eli helped the humans inside and signaled Rin to follow. She stepped in, scanning the shaft with her visor. The lift descended slowly, groaning with weight. Outside, the station shook again. The fleet was closer now. Sensors picked up unknown energy pulses moving toward the station. Eli clenched his jaw. The relics were calling them. Whatever was out there knew they were awake. At the bottom of the shaft, they entered a storage area long abandoned. Dust hung thick in the air. Crates and broken machines filled the room. Here, Marek's network had prepared safe zones. Humans had been hiding, waiting for a signal to move. They stepped inside cautiously. Faces appeared from shadows. Men and women, young and old, all armed with makeshift weapons and determination. Eli raised his hand. "Quiet. We are moving." Now. A murmur of agreement ran through the group. This was the resistance, small but ready. Eli felt the weight of responsibility settle on him. If they failed, the station would fall. If they succeeded, it might be the start of something larger than anyone had imagined. Ryan stepped forward. "You follow my lead. If the patrols find you, I will protect you. But you must listen. Every decision matters." The humans nodded, trust forming slowly. Ryan's presence was commanding. Her reputation was enough to give them courage. Still, she watched them carefully. These humans were bold, reckless even. But that boldness was not weakness. Eli moved through the room, checking each person. Taro, a former miner with broad shoulders, was ready to lead a small team. Lena, a medic, carried supplies and could treat wounds quickly. Each had been chosen for skill, not courage alone, but courage was what bound them. Suddenly, alarms rang. Red lights flickered. Sensors detected movement in the corridors above. The patrols had discovered gaps in the station systems. Eli cursed under his breath. They had only minutes. Ryan raised her hand. "Positions. Move." Humans spread through the storage area, taking cover behind crates. Eli stayed near the center. He felt the case in his pocket pulse lightly. It was calling, signaling. The fleet outside was aware. Something ancient had been awakened, and now it was coming closer. Shots rang out above. Guards were searching the corridors, weapons scanning for heat signatures. Ryan signaled for silence. Eli counted the seconds. They had to move before the patrols reached the storage area. Using old maintenance lifts and side corridors, the group moved again. Each step was deliberate, each shadow a potential threat. Eli's mind raced, planning their next move. They had to reach the central chamber. There, the relic could be activated fully. There, humans could prove their worth. As they approached another junction, Eli stopped. He heard voices, distinct and low. Humans, not in hiding, but working. Mark moved forward, whispering instructions. These humans had been hiding, waiting for a leader. Eli stepped out into the open, signaling peace. Slowly, more humans joined their group. Each added strength, each added courage. The corridors grew narrower. Ryan stayed close, her presence keeping the humans steady. The patrols were still searching, unaware that their targets were moving in silence below their feet. Eli led them to an old service elevator, one that had been disconnected for decades. Marek fiddled with the controls. The lift groaned, lights flickering, but it descended. At the bottom, they entered a large chamber filled with ancient machines. Dust covered every surface. Symbols glowed faintly on panels. The case in Eli's hands pulsed stronger now, as if recognizing its place in the room. Rin stepped forward. She studied the machinery, scanning each console. Her visor displayed readings she could not interpret fully. Still, she understood one thing clearly. The humans were the key. The relics were responding to them. The station's old defenses would not react to her alone. Eli placed the case on a central platform. Light flowed through the room, illuminating walls and ceilings with symbols and stars. He felt energy hum beneath his feet. The chamber seemed alive, responding to human presence. Ryan moved close, scanning the area. She felt the warmth of the case without touching it. She looked at Eli. How? How do you do this? I don't know, he said simply. I just know it listens to us. The humans spread through the chamber, guided by Eli and Marek. Lena prepared medical kits, checking for injuries. Taro assigned positions to hold doors and monitor any incoming patrols. Outside, the station trembled as if reacting to the chamber's activation. The fleet's energy pulses grew stronger, moving faster toward the station. The relics were awake, and the humans were at their center. Ryan watched carefully. She had always believed in strength and rules, but this was different. Humans did not follow her rules. They acted with instinct, courage, and unity. That was a force no one had expected. Eli placed his hands near the case, but not on it. The energy responded. It pulsed and flowed, moving like liquid light through the machines. Symbols on the walls shifted, forming patterns he did not understand but recognized instinctively. The alarms grew louder. Patrols were breaking into the lower levels. The humans moved quickly, setting up defenses. They were outnumbered, but their knowledge of hidden paths gave them an advantage. Rin stood at the front, directing movement. Eli felt a strange sense of calm. The relic responded to fear, to courage, and to touch. He had already touched it once, and the fleet was coming. There was no turning back. The first patrols appeared in the corridors. Ryan fired precise shots, disabling weapons and guards without killing. The humans moved with efficiency, blocking pathways, creating distractions. Each step was dangerous, but coordinated. They had practiced only in theory, but instinct guided them. Eli focused on the case. He felt it resonate with the humans' collective energy. Each pulse strengthened the chamber's defenses, activated dormant systems, and prepared the station for what was coming. One patrol unit advanced directly into the chamber. Taro intercepted, engaging them with non-lethal methods. Lena treated a minor injury as it happened. The humans worked seamlessly, driven by instinct, courage, and the presence of a leader who would not falter. Ryan observed silently. For the first time, she saw humans not as weak, but as unpredictable forces. Forces that could alter the balance of power in the galaxy. Eli placed his hand on the case lightly, sensing the fleet's approach. Energy flowed through him, into the humans and back into the relic. The station seemed to hum with life. The chamber glowed, preparing for a signal, a warning, or perhaps a call. Outside, the unknown fleet neared. Inside, the humans stood ready, their courage amplified by the relic's recognition. Eli met Ryan's gaze. She nodded slightly. Trust, if not fully formed, was growing. The station trembled. The chamber pulsed. And the humans, guided by instinct, courage, and a simple human touch, prepared to face forces that had been sleeping for centuries. Forces that had never known humans could awaken them. The chamber hummed with energy, the walls glowing with shifting symbols. Eli stood near the case, feeling the pulse of the relic beneath his hands. He could feel the energy moving through the room, responding to every human presence. The fleet outside drew closer, their engines sending vibrations through the station. Time was short. Ryan watched carefully. She had never seen technology respond to humans this way. Her species had built machines that obeyed commands, but these relics reacted to instinct and courage. They were alive in a way she could not fully understand. Eli turned to the humans. Listen carefully, he said. This is where we make our stand. The fleet knows we are awake. They are coming. We need to be ready. Taro, the former miner, nodded. We hold the doors. We give everyone time to reach the control points. Belina checked her medical supplies, preparing for the injuries that were certain to come. Every human present felt the tension, but none wavered. They had followed Eli this far. They trusted him, and for now that trust was all they had. The first patrols arrived in the corridors outside. Ryan moved silently, intercepting them with precision. Her armor glowed faintly, affected by the relic's energy. She realized that humans could activate power no alien had controlled for centuries. Each human touch strengthened the room and weakened the patrol's advantage. Eli placed his hands near the case, but not directly on it. The energy responded, flowing through the room like water, connecting the humans, the relic, and the station itself. Symbols on the walls shifted, forming a protective pattern, a barrier that pulsed with light and strength. The patrols advanced and the humans engaged. Taro and a small team blocked one corridor, disabling weapons without killing. Marek used devices to jam scanners and alarms, giving the humans time to move freely. Lena treated wounds quickly, ensuring no one fell behind. Each action was precise, coordinated, and fueled by courage. Ryan observed silently. For the first time, she saw humans not as weak beings, but as unpredictable forces, capable of shaping events. They moved with instinct and bravery, unbound by fear or control. The relics recognized this, and the station responded. Suddenly, the station trembled violently. A warning system blared, signaling the fleet's approach. The chamber shook. Symbols on the walls flashed rapidly. Eli could feel the pulse intensify, responding to both human courage and the looming threat. "We need to activate fully," he said. The humans gathered around, following his lead. Each placed a hand lightly on the case, feeling the warmth, the pulse, the connection. Energy surged through them, flowing like a river into the station, into the relic, into the air itself. Ryan stepped forward cautiously. She did not touch the case, but she monitored the energy. Her armor flickered under the relic's influence. She realized that humans were not just touching power. They were merging with it, directing it. Outside, the fleet slowed. Sensors picked up the surge, reacting to the humans' presence. Unknown ships hovered at the edge of the station, uncertain. Eli could feel the signal reaching across space, awakening other systems, other relics. The galaxy was responding. Inside, the humans prepared for the inevitable attack. Every patrol unit was approaching. Eli felt the weight of responsibility, but he did not falter. He looked at Ryan. "This is only the beginning," he said. Ryan did not reply, but she nodded. Her respect for humans had grown. She had underestimated them before. Not anymore. The first patrols entered the chamber. Humans engaged with determination. Taro blocked the main corridor, forcing the patrols to take alternate routes. Marek used devices to disable weapons. Lena treated injuries on the move. Each human acted as part of a whole, a single force connected by courage and instinct. Eli focused on the case. He felt the pulse grow stronger, feeding the humans, the station, and the chamber. The energy responded to fear, to courage, to touch. The relic was alive, and it had chosen humans as its guide. Rin moved among the humans, protecting them, directing them, guiding them. She realized that her species had relied too much on control, on rules. Humans did not need to obey. They acted with purpose, with instinct, and that made them powerful. The station trembled again. The fleet drew nearer, unsure of how to respond. Sensors detected energy flows, ancient signals, and human courage combined. The chamber glowed brighter. The station itself seemed to wake, preparing for the confrontation. Eli placed his hand fully on the case. The energy surged, flowing through every human in the chamber, through Ryan's armor, and into the station. The symbols on the walls shifted, forming patterns that pulsed with power. The relic recognized the humans' courage and amplified it. Outside, the fleet hesitated. The energy radiating from the station disrupted their systems. Unknown ships slowed, unsure of what they faced. The humans inside the chamber stood ready, connected to each other, to the relic, and to the station itself. Rin watched Eli. "You have done what no human has before," she said. "You touched power meant for the ancients." Eli looked at her calmly. "I only did what was necessary. Courage is all we need." The chamber vibrated with energy. Humans held their positions, ready to defend the station, ready to face the fleet. The relics pulsed, alive and aware. The galaxy had awakened to the presence of humans, and for the first time, their strength was undeniable. The patrols hesitated at the chamber doors. The humans prepared to engage, confident, connected, and fearless. The fleet outside waited, sensing the power within the station. The relics were awake, and humans were at their center. The first real challenge had begun, and for the first time, humans were not merely surviving, they were leading. Eli felt the case pulse beneath his hand. The energy was immense, overwhelming, but steady. He looked at Ryan. "Together we faced them," he said. Ryan nodded, finally understanding. Humans were not weak. They were dangerous, unstoppable, and capable of things her species had long forgotten. The station trembled, the chamber glowed, and the humans stood ready. Outside, the fleet hovered, uncertain. The war for the station had begun, and humans were no longer pawns. They were the force that would shape the outcome. The station vibrated with energy, the relics pulsing in response to human presence. Eli stood in the center of the chamber, the case at his feet glowing brighter than ever. He could feel the power coursing through the humans surrounding him. Each pulse of energy strengthened their courage, their focus, and their resolve. Outside, the fleet paused, sensing the immense force emanating from the station. Rhine moved among the humans, her visor scanning every corridor, every hatch. Her armor reflected the energy in the chamber. She had never seen technology respond to a species in this way. Her species had ruled by force and order, but humans acted with instinct and courage. That made them unpredictable, and unpredictable was dangerous. Eli turned to Marek. "How many are ready?" he asked. Marek checked the devices he had set up. "About 50, he said. "Not many, but enough to hold the station and guide the others. The rest are hiding, waiting for instructions." Eli nodded. "We must move fast. The fleet is watching. Every second counts." "Where do we go?" he asked. "The patrols are still out there." Eli pointed to the central control nodes. "That is where the relic can send a signal. If we activate it fully, we can warn other humans across the galaxy and call for help. But we have to hold the station until then." Lena checked supplies and nodded. "We are ready. We will follow your lead." Rhine studied the chamber. She understood the stakes. If the humans failed, the fleet would destroy the station and kill everyone hiding within it. But if they succeeded, they could awaken other relics and change the balance of power. She realized that her species had been wrong to underestimate humans. She also realized that she could not control them, only protect them. The first patrol units appeared in the corridors outside. Humans took positions, using cover and shadows to move silently. Eli placed his hand lightly on the case. The energy responded immediately, flowing through the station, through the humans, and into the chamber itself. Bih. Symbols on the walls shifted and glowed, forming protective patterns that pulsed with light. Rhine followed the humans' movements, providing support. Her weapon was precise, disabling patrols without killing. The humans moved efficiently, blocking pathways, setting traps, and guiding others to safety. Each action was coordinated, instinctive, and fearless. The station trembled. Outside, the fleet sensed the energy flowing from the chamber. Unknown ships slowed, unsure of what to do. The humans were not merely defending the station, they were controlling its power. The relics recognized them, responding to their courage and unity. Eli stepped forward, placing his hands fully on the case. The energy surged, connecting every human in the chamber. They felt it, a pulse that moved like a river, linking them to the station, to the relic, and to each other. The symbols on the walls shifted, forming a shield around the chamber. Rhine observed silently, understanding that humans had activated something no other species could. They were not weak, not pawns, not victims. They were a force, capable of shaping events on a scale she had never imagined. The patrols outside hesitated. The humans inside the chamber were no longer alone. The relics had recognized them, and the station itself seemed to respond, creating a barrier against intruders. Eli felt the energy flowing stronger, preparing for the fleet outside. Marek moved to the controls, adjusting devices to amplify the signal. Humans in the chamber followed his instructions, creating a network that strengthened the station's defenses. Lena treated injuries as they happened, ensuring no one fell behind. Taro coordinated the positioning of humans at key points, maximizing their effectiveness. Eli felt the pulse of the relics resonate with the humans' courage. The energy was immense, overwhelming, but steady. He looked at Rhine. "We are ready," he said. Rhine nodded. Outside, the fleet had slowed completely. The unknown ships sensed the power, uncertain how to respond. The humans inside the chamber were ready to face whatever came through the doors. The first patrol unit entered the chamber. Humans engaged with precision. Taro blocked the main corridor, forcing the patrols to split. Marek used devices to disable weapons. Lena treated minor injuries immediately. Each human acted with courage and instinct, connected by the pulse of the relics. Rhine moved among them, guiding them, protecting them, ensuring the chamber remained secure. She realized that humans were dangerous not because they were strong, but because they acted with purpose, with instinct, and without fear. The station trembled again. The relics pulsed brighter, responding to the humans' courage and the fleet's presence. Eli felt the energy flowing through every human in the chamber, into the station, and out toward the fleet. Unknown ships hesitated, sensing the power in the humans' control. Eli turned to the humans. "This is our chance," he said. "Activate the full signal. Warn others. Call for help." The humans placed their hands on the case, focusing on the energy connecting with each other and the station. The chamber glowed brighter, the symbols shifting and forming a network that extended beyond the station. The fleet outside sensed the surge, unsure of how to react. Rhine watched, understanding that humans had achieved something no other species had. They had activated ancient technology, controlled its power, and stood ready to defend the station. The humans were no longer weak, no longer underestimated. They were a force that could not be ignored. Eli felt the pulse of the relics grow stronger, feeding the humans, the station, and the chamber itself. The energy flowed outward, reaching other systems, other relics, awakening them. The galaxy was responding to humans, and for the first time their strength was undeniable. Outside, the fleet hesitated, sensing the immense power within the station. Inside, humans stood ready, connected to each other and to the relics. The patrols were defeated or disabled. The chamber was secure. The first challenge had been met, and humans had proven their courage, unity, and ability to control power no other species could. Eli looked at Rhine. "We did it," he said. Rhine nodded. Quietly, she added, "Humans are not weak. They are dangerous, capable of things my species forgot." The station trembled with energy. The chamber glowed. Humans were ready to face whatever came next. The fleet outside remained uncertain. The war for the station had begun, but humans were no longer pawns. They were the force that would shape the outcome. And they would not be underestimated again. The chamber was alive with energy. Symbols on the walls glowed brighter than ever, and the pulse from the case connected every human in the room. Eli stood at the center, hands lightly on the relic. The humans around him followed his lead, each one focused, each one connected. Ryan moved among them, watching, guiding, protecting. Outside, the fleet hesitated, sensing the immense power within the station. The unknown ships hovered at the edges, unsure of how to act. They had never encountered a species capable of activating relics, controlling them, and defending themselves at the same time. Eli looked at the humans in the chamber. "We have come this far," he said. "Now we finish what we started." The humans nodded, determination in their eyes. They were no longer scared. They were connected, and their courage was amplified by the relic. Each one felt the energy flowing through them, through the station, and into the air around them. Ryan stepped forward. "The council will come for you," she said. "They will try to stop this."
"You must be ready." Eli smiled faintly.
"We are ready," he said. The chamber vibrated. The fleet outside shifted, sensing the energy reaching across space. Other relics responded, awakening at the signal, pulsing with recognition of human presence and courage. The galaxy itself seemed to acknowledge humans for the first time as a force not to be ignored. Marek and Taro moved among the humans, guiding them to positions that strengthened the station's defenses. Lana treated minor injuries quickly, ensuring everyone stayed focused. The humans moved as one, connected by courage, instinct, and the relic's energy. Brian watched, understanding fully now. Humans were not weak. They were capable of shaping events, controlling power, and standing against forces older and stronger than any of her species. She felt a respect she had never felt before. Suddenly, the station shook violently. Alarms blared. The fleet was reacting, unsure of how to approach. Sensors detected energy surges, signals reaching systems long thought dormant. Eli felt the pulse of the relic strengthen. This was the moment they had prepared for. He turned to Ryan. "Stay close," he said. "We may need your help directly," she nodded. Her armor flickered with the relic's energy. She understood that her role was no longer to command, but to protect and support humans capable of something no other species had ever done. The first patrol units attempted to enter the chamber. The humans engaged, precise and coordinated. Taro blocked the main corridor, forcing the patrols into traps set by Marek. Lena treated injuries in the midst of chaos. Each human moved with courage and instinct, connected to the relic and each other. Eli focused fully on the case. The energy flowed through him, through every human, into the station and out to the fleet. The symbols on the walls shifted, forming protective barriers and channels of power. The chamber pulsed, alive and aware. Rin moved among the humans, providing support, disabling patrols with precision. She understood that humans did not need her to lead. They acted with courage and instinct, and that was enough. She only had to ensure they could continue. The fleet outside slowed, sensing the immense energy and the humans' control over the station. Unknown ships hovered, unsure. They had never faced a force like this. Humans had activated relics, controlled their power, and prepared for defense. The energy was overwhelming. Eli placed his hands fully on the case. The pulse surged, connecting all humans, strengthening the station and sending a signal across space. Other relics responded, awakening in distant systems. Humans were no longer isolated. They were recognized as a force across the galaxy. Ryan watched Eli. "You have done what no human has before," she said quietly. "You have awakened power that even my species cannot control." Eli looked at her calmly. "Courage is all we need," he said. The chamber vibrated with energy. Humans held their positions, ready to defend the station, ready to face the fleet. The relics pulsed, alive and aware. Humans stood at the center, no longer pawns, no longer underestimated. The patrols outside hesitated. The humans inside the chamber were connected, focused, and fearless. They had proven their courage and strength. The fleet sensed it and waited, uncertain, for the humans' next move. Eli turned to the humans. "This is our chance," he said. "Activate fully. Warn others. Call for help." The humans placed their hands on the case, focusing, connecting with each other in the station. The chamber glowed brighter, the symbols forming a network extending beyond the station. Fleet outside sensed the surge, unsure of how to respond. Ryan nodded. "Humans are dangerous," she said. "They act with courage, instinct, and unity. They can shape events no one else can." The chamber pulsed with energy. The humans were ready. Outside, the fleet waited, sensing the immense power. The relics were awake, and humans were at the center. Eli felt the energy flowing through every human, through the station, and out across space. He looked at Ryan. "Together we face whatever comes," he said. Rin stepped closer. "Do not touch me again," she said. Eli smiled faintly. "I will try," he said. The energy surged outward, connecting with distant relics, awakening systems across the galaxy. Humans were no longer underestimated. They were a force to be reckoned with. They had courage, instinct, and unity. They had awakened power that no one had expected. The fleet outside paused, uncertain, as the humans inside the station stood ready, connected to each other and the relics. The station trembled, the chamber glowed, and humans were no longer pawns. They were the force that would shape the galaxy's future. And for the first time, the universe knew that humans could no longer be ignored.